Welcome, guys. Daily vlog number 9 and transitions to a new chapter. It's a very apt title and tons of stuff happening at the moment. Tons of stuff. Um, the fluffiness of my hair, for instance, is one of those. um, my mum just got back and she is moving into state in a week or a bit over a week. Um, I've got really good friends of mine, German friends, moving in with me next this weekend. Um, they'll be moving down this Sunday, and I have got a Pro Open and State Championship poker game. So if you didn't know, I am a massive poker fan. I love it. I play a lot of local games just for fun and socializing, and yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a new level um, of, I guess, what would you call it? New level of tournament, new level of expertise, new level of play. And so it's a really apt theme in a way because a lot of what's happening at the moment is about turning chapters and leveling up and big changes. And so those are all the things that are sort of happening physically. Things are going really well business wise. And I checked on a campaign today, a Facebook ad campaign for one of my clients. And for every $1 that we're spending on Facebook ads, we're making $11 back. So that's pretty cool. That makes me feel really good. Because even when you know what you're doing and you have a certain level of confidence in yourself, there's always this feeling when you launch a Facebook ad campaign like what if it doesn't work? I don't know why. It's not really a rational feeling. I think it's more to do with um sort of Facebook's unpredictability, and maybe it's just like it's kind of like stage fright. So even experienced artists, before they go on stage, they get nervous. So that's sort of what it is. So I always feel really good when I see those results coming in. um, Makes the clients really happy, makes me feel amazing. So it's really good. And been putting together a team just sort of loosely at the moment where I need them. So I've got a media guy. I've got a media guy, Harry, operations and marketing guy, Kieran. And I'm also outsourcing some sort of like high end programming stuff. I think I talked about it in the last vlog, to a friend of mine, Ben, who's just a genius at programming. He lives and breathes it. So it's really cool. And I'm starting to get a feel for, not that I've ever needed a feel for delegating things, because I've always understood the efficiency of delegating. But it's one thing to understand it, it's another thing to, I guess, enact it and to feel comfortable with it. And so something my mentor Franco was saying to me is that, like, what happens is you'll start to get busy and you'll start to make more money and you'll feel stuck. That's normal. But in order to get unstuck, you've kind of got to get more busy. And what he means by that is you've got to get busy training staff, like training team members. I prefer to call them team members. So I really consider like the people who work with me in my business as partners. Even though, yes, I'm steering the ship and I'm sort of deciding where it's going and what's happening, I don't sort of like ever look down on it and go like, oh, you work for me and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. Like, yes, there'll be certain things that I want done a certain way, but at the end of the day, like, they're human beings, right? And I spent 10 years working for other people, working in the corporate world, working for the federal government, 4 years working in IT. I worked in all these jobs, and in all these jobs, there was always this like dickhead manager who just loved telling you what to do or how to do it just for that power trip. And I know you know what I'm talking about because it's prolific. It's everywhere, right? Like every single job you go to, there's at least one manager who's just a dick. Um, and so all the lessons that I learned, I guess, over the years through working for the Department of Immigration and IT and all this sort of thing, most of what I learned was actually what not to do. So way more than what to do, because the majority of organizations actually don't know what they're doing. Um, the Department of Immigration, for example, I don't think I can get in trouble for saying this, but I'll say it anyway. At one point, they realized their employees were unhappy. Right, there's about 500 of us in the building in Brisbane, and lots of employees were complaining, and so instead of just talking to people like a normal human being, what they did is they hired this outside consulting firm, no shit, and they paid these guys $30,000, $30,000. And during that time, they basically did all these questionnaires, interviewed people, did all this stuff. And at the very end of it, the $30,000, I'll tell you what that was worth. That was worth this outcome. The managers came and they said, so we've conducted all this study, and we've realized from that you want to have more fun. So we're going to have more fun. And they said it like this: we're going to have more fun. So what sort of fun do you want to have? And to me, like someone who grew up with very down to earth, like sort of hippie mother and in a down to earth lifestyle, like people call it hippie, right? But to me, it's just normal. To me, it's just a normal human being. You care about the environment, you care about each other. For me, that was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And it's so absurd because it was all just to sort of like avoid connecting, just to sit and actually be human. It's really interesting. So the point of what I'm saying is that I saw and experienced so many things that I will never do in my business. Looking down on team members is one of them. So I don't call them employees or staff, they're just team members. And I do that deliberately because every time I say team, I picture a level playing field. And although I still make the decisions to a degree, the difference is like traditional model is I'm the commander, I'm on a ship, and you're all my whatever crew. I tell each person what to do and they do it. That's the traditional model. But a much better model is to actually, instead of creating like followers, you create leaders. And so instead of everyone being purely reliant on this one central pivot point, you literally empower people to make decisions, to be in their strength, to trust themselves, to have faith in themselves, to just create from the heart. And yeah, there might be some little adjustments here or there, but 80 to 90% of it is them. So now they don't feel like a slave. Now they're not in this like, oh, I have to go to work and do this all for like money. Because money is very like money is energy, but money in and of itself is not a thing. And so the thing that people love the most in their work environment is not the money, it's the flexibility, it's recognition, acknowledgement, respect. These are all the qualities that just a general human being wants in their life. And so what I'm realizing more and more is that there was once this line like between business and personal. And the more I look at it and the more I think about it and the more I guess experience it, I personally think there's no line. There is some, to some degree, like you're not going to share personal stuff with a client. Okay, so that's granted. But you wouldn't share personal stuff with someone you hadn't known that long either. So to me, it's like however you approach human beings and however you appreciate human beings to be, that's how you treat them in your business. And Richard Branson talks about this. He says, you the job of the business owner is to look after the staff look after the customers look after the business, and the business looks after the owner. And it just goes around like this. But what a lot of businesses do is they try and they the business owner looks after the customers and then sort of looks after the staff, and then the staff are also, it's just all over the place, right? So this is like a real core difference, and maybe I'll write a book on this at some stage. Is like how I believe organizations should be run. The other big difference is I don't need them to be here in the office. Like we'll come in to socialize, and maybe once a week we'll do training and catch up and like where are we at. But man, we have Zoom now. We have Zoom video calls. We have Voxer, which is like a walkie-talkie app. We've got Slack. We've got Trello boards. We've got all this technology. Um, if I want to have the freedom to run my business and travel and move my life about how I see fit whilst running that business, I want my team to also have that feeling. I don't want to be like up in some ivory tower while they're in the engine, sweating it out in the engine room or whatever the analogy is. Like I'm a human being and they're a human being, and I want them to experience the joy and the freedom and the passion and the creativity that I'm experiencing. Because now it's not just a business thing, now it's a friendship, it's a partnership, and we're all working together. You see how it's different? It's like really different. It's different than anything else that any other company really does. Aside from maybe Google or something like this. And I'm not saying that to try and sound good. It's just I really strongly believe that this is how the world should be, and I'm going to prove that or show that by simply doing it. And you'll see, like people will cotton onto this, and remote work will just. I mean, it's already become more popular. So, but anyway, without getting out on too much of a tangent, so there's lots of things happening. Reading some really great books at the moment. Um, got given this one for my birthday, which I just started. Hopefully, it's the right way around. And it's all about the energy of money and how money can be sad or happy depending on how it's given and received. And I love always developing and stuff. So let me know. And before I forget, if you enjoy this video and you get some sort of value out of it, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And if you have the time, I would love it if you just gave me a comment. I would love to know what you're reading. If you're into personal development, what sort of material or who you're following. Because you never know. Like I've been referred some cool authors and vice versa. So one person I would suggest is Kyle Cease. I'll just type that in here so you can see the spelling. And you can look him up on Facebook or YouTube. He's a really great one to learn from in terms of consciousness and development and meditation and that sort of thing. What else? Yeah, it's just kind of it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. Um, Friends are moving in, mum's moving away, business is changing, and I'm excited. I'm really. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm losing weight. I'm losing weight. So I've lost like 1.8 kilos. Um, in about a 2 week period. So that's another chapter that I'm turning. So um, sticking with it and trying my best, doing an 8 week challenge. And so I'm really looking forward to getting my weight down, getting healthier, getting more energy. It's all happening. It's all happening. So that's really cool. Really excited. And that's it. That's all I'm going to share with you today. I forgot to do my live yesterday. I'm just going to keep plodding away at it. There'll be days when I forget, but for the most part, I just want to do it every day and just share what I'm doing. Um, and it also kind of acts as an accountability because you're like, you know that you're going to make a video and that you need to be able to share something of your experience or value. So for me, it's also like a reminder, like, make sure you're moving forward with everything. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching this live, if you can just, if there's there should be a chat, if you can say hashtag uh, team live. And if you're watching the replay, which most of you will, hashtag team replay. That would be awesome. And yeah, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff helps me out, helps the channel, and I really love to grow it and get more of you connected. So I can give you value and see everyone grow. So that's it, guys. Have a good day, and I'll chat to you tomorrow.